Hello and welcome back to the next One Piece review and discussion. I cannot tell you how blown away I was when I had read this chapter. I love reading the chapter to myself first. I'm here for the story, all the characters. My goodness, when I read it, there was a moment of just pause of we are really now just starting to only ramp up. This end saga, this is a moniker chapter to signify what is to come. And I cannot wait. It just gets me so excited to even think about what Oda has planned. Because this to me is wrapping up Egghead and signalling the journey forward. So, without further ado, chapter 1121. The ebb and flow of the ages. What a title. I know there'll be some rough translation around it because we are obviously early. Chapters don't officially release till the Sunday, but we always get the chapters early on, so there'll be some changes, but that is a beautiful title that signifies the sheer magnitude of what we find out and what we see in this chapter. But no cover story this week, taking a break from Yamato's pilgrimage. But what we do have, and I'll show it here, is a really just provocative image of Nami that clearly Oda has a favourite. I guess no surprise. But we do get to see the other Straw Hats, seemingly not as important as obviously Nami in the main frame, but nevertheless it's a nice colour spread that we get to see. But anyway, last we had left off, the Iron Giant spoke to Luffy and said he was Joy Boy, he was so glad to see him again, and Luffy had zero idea who Joy Boy was, that he was talking to him in the first place, and clearly was happy to have an ally against these kaiju five elders that are currently bearing down on them. We found out that giants could not hear the Iron Giant speaking, so voice of all things was kicking in, I guess. But Vegapunk's message was rambling on about the history, the Void Century. Gold Roger had found the answers to everything, but hadn't gave it to anyone. But we saw that Atlas had sacrificed herself to help the Sunny reach the sea. Lilith was saved by Atlas just beforehand, and York believes that now she is the last remaining Vegapunk. There is no one else connected to the network. So here we are. Obviously, we had the revelation as well, all importantly, that Gold Roger was not in fact Gold Roger, but was Goldie Roger, which we knew anyway. But nevertheless, we pick up from where Saturn ended last chapter. Saturn had used Jupiter as a springboard to reach the Elbaf ship, where he landed on the prow. He was ready to just absolutely annihilate Kuma and Bonney. He'd had enough now. Loose ends. They've been a thorn in his side for too long. He is furious. So his spider-like tentacles begin to just whip out and try and assault. Luckily, obviously, the giants, with their heavy shields, begin to parry the blocks, but Luffy is warning them, look, you can't withstand it for too long. You've got to watch them. They are poisonous claws. You've just got to get out the way. There's nothing we can do. And even the Giants are like, whoa, like this attack is intense. Like, we're getting pushed back here. And as Luffy is readying up a punch, he's like, I'm going to take you down. He pauses and sees Bonney. Like, still crying, but like mumbling to herself as she begins to revert back into her Nika form. And Luffy catches it and he's like, okay. And as one of the legs goes to strike Bonney, instead Luffy spins and like punches it out the way to protect Bonney, who now springs to life in her full Nika form. And Saturn is like, you do not understand what you are doing. He is furious that he was talking about like Nika like many chapters ago, and the fact that Bonney now takes the form is just like a lovely roundabout circle to take Saturn on. And Luffy's like, you've got this, Bonney. So we're about to see what happens here, but we break away just briefly for Vegapunk's final closing words. I feel like we thought that was the case for the past 8 chapters, but Vegapunk is not done. But I'm going to assume this is the last chapter where he is done, because he says, a day of awakening is coming. He says, the secrets of the Void Sentry will be uncovered, and the knowledge and the whereabouts of these weapons, these technologies that sank the world's continent, are still in use. We see a shot of Shirahoshi. We also see a shot of Vivi, seemingly obviously setting up their major roles to come. We also see Skypiea. Now, it is Conus and Isa going to meet the Wiper group, but it doesn't seem that they are listening to this message. Whether they're obviously concerned about what's happening beneath them, but they seem to just be carrying on with their lives and not being affected by what Vegapunk is telling them, because clearly they're up in the sky. Why would the sea rise and bother them? So, but there's importance to why Oda is showing them now, I think. We also then get Vegapunk saying there are those who are rare and have unique ancestry, and they are relentlessly persecuted and slaughtered to this day due to some mysterious quirk of history. And we focus on Kuma first with a flashback to when he's talking to Vegapunk about him being a buccaneer and why that makes him so special. What is it about a buccaneer's blood that makes him almost imperious and almost stronger? And there's some other thing we don't yet know about the significance of buccaneers. We then have obviously Marco, who is listening in, and he recalls the conversation he had with Whitebeard about the kingdom of the gods that lived up there long ago. Obviously, we then come to King, all bandaged up, so King's sort of recovering now after the attack that happened at Wano. But he's recalling when he was first told that he was a Lunarian, and that him just alone is worth 100 million berries to be captured and taken to the world government. So as a baseline, having done nothing at all, just based on the race that he is as a Lunarian, he was that important. Even information. We then see Pudding with her 3 eyes. And she's recalling, obviously, being mocked so many times for having that 3rd eye. So we've got these now growing connections between these ancient tribes that will have some significance. Lunarians, Buccaneers, the 3-eyed tribe. I think the Skypeans will have a involvement, seen as we were just showing them beforehand. But Oda is seemingly piecing everything together in this chapter to set up. But we jump away. The setup can take a pause for now to get, I think, what is a beautiful encapsulation for a character small development arc within this arc, because we've got Saturn firing all of his pincers, all of his legs towards Bonney. Luffy, out of nowhere, just drop kicks them and like scissor kicks them all away, just completely brushes them aside, and he's laughing away. And this is Bonnie's moment. As she winds up her punch, we get this incredible double-page spread of everything we've learned in Egghead to do with Bonney, to do with Kuma, Sentomaru, Kizaru. All of the pieces fitting onto this double page. She recalls Kuma's memory of first meeting St. J. Garcia when he was but a child on God Valley. You either live as a slave or die. Someone of your ilk, nothing else can be tolerated. This is the time to decide. And she's like, how dare you do this to my father, to my mother. Now, Kizaru and Sentomaru, we just see like glimpses of their face. But it's when another flashback of Saturn admitting to Bonney when she was like in his grasp, I experimented on your mother. That drug experiment that he did, that we still don't know what it really intended, but it probably led to the blue sapphire scales forming. And there's a shot of Ginny like faded out when Bonney was a child, remembering her mother, and she's hearing Kuma talking to her about the real gods exist, to be a real hero like Nika, someone who could save people. And we've got the shot of them dancing. We've just got Kuma on board the ship, just like switched off, and she just bawls into tears, and she's like, all I wanted was for the 3 of us to live in peace. I wanted, being alone was too much, and I just wanted to be with them. I had to keep going. I owe everything to those 2. They've blessed me in so many ways. And there is a heartwarming moment where Bonney thinks about what would have happened if Ginny had survived and they had stayed together and grown up as a family. And all Kuma says is, they probably both say it, but they're like, thank you, Bonney. We're so glad you were born. And in doing this, we see Bonney winding up a massive punch, but assisted in the coolest way possible. Behind Bonney, we see Luffy in giant form, fist of armament locked, and Saturn is like, you absolute insects. And we see as she launches forward the liberating Nika punch, Luffy collapses in and absolutely gattlings around Saturn. So Bonney hits dead center and Luffy just completely eviscerates the rest of his body. It is at this time that we have some of Vegapunk's message carrying on. And he says, right, there will be a reckoning, you know. The day that these answers are revealed, you all need to protect yourself. Be on guard. No matter what happens, I have got faith in humans' capacity and wisdom. I've got faith in science itself. You know, Roger died 25 years ago now. 2 years since Whitebeard's death. A new age is heralded by the passing of old legends. Now, during those shots, I will briefly say, we see Iceberg, obviously over at Water 7. We see Judge and Caesar, good old friends at it again, you know, with their formation of Neomads. And we've obviously then got Herides as the guy from Witheria, the wizards. He's just chilling, listening away. But we can see a shot of the island in just complete disarray. We see Jupiter and Mercury completely towering over the giant now, completely destroyed. It's like barely standing. But it is this moment that defines Bonney's entire arc during this arc, where we see this punch and flurry of punches land. St. J. Garcia Saturn, with hundreds of puncture holes that just completely annihilate his body. He begins to crumble away and looks like he's about to just fall into the sea. We don't see him hit the water. He probably will, but all of his legs are destroyed. His body is in pieces. He looks done. Now, this is big speculation for what might be revealed here, where people believe, and I think, these are devil fruit users. We've yet to be given a devil fruit name. We got given the name of the demon they are. What if water doesn't affect them? Jay Garcia might have just took a heavy blow. It might take him a bit longer to repair, but he will repair. And I do not think that the water is going to affect him. But for the moment, he is unconscious. The giants celebrate, so does Luffy, laughing away like, we did it, Bonney, we really sent them flying. We see Kuma smiling, Bonnie's ecstatic and crying, and everyone's like, look, it's your ship, Luffy, it's the Sunny, it's here. We see Usopp is petrified, Jinbei's holding onto the the helm, the wheel. Chopper's holding onto Jinbei. We see Zoro readying his sword, trying to steady himself. They are just about to arrive. And with the landing of the Sunny, we close in on what Vegapunk has to finally say. The individuals, certain individuals who cannot be oppressed, they are the closest to the truth. Is it a coincidence, or did Roger set this all in motion? So we spoke about this. I've spoken about it a few times. Why Roger and his crew didn't do anything. His crew have gone off and done some interesting things to do with the knowledge of the world sinking. But what did Roger do? We know that they were too early. But Vegapunk is clocking on to the fact that Roger set everything in motion 25 years ago when he died. When he declared that his treasure is yours to find. It is right where I left it. The One Piece. and we see a shot of Rayleigh passed out at Shaki's bar, and she's covering him with a cloak because doesn't want to catch cold. We see all the pirates on Hachinosu getting completely riled up and saying, "Where is the Commodore? We need him back. We can't wait much longer. We are too excited." We see the Red Force just sailing somewhere where obviously everyone's like, the boss is drunk again. He's just always drinking way too much. And he's like, I ain't drinking. I'm not drunk. So obviously I like the sort of resemblance of Rayleigh drunk and Shanks drunk. But we also hear from Vegapunk, there is no guarantee that whoever finds it is someone Joy Boy would want to find it. It is now just a race to see who gets it first. And we see Empty Bluff, we see the Cross Guilds, and everyone's like, your greatness is far beyond what we expected. Chairman Buggy, you have exceeded our expectations. There's so much more to your dream than we thought. And we can see Mihawk and Crocodile sort of like just watching, absolutely fuming, but funny. Buggy's going to be a big role. And then we jump to the Navy HQ where they're all like scrambling around being like, there's no time to waste, we can't stand by anymore, we've got to find it first. And he's like, another voice is just going, who's going to protect the common folk, you dolt? Like, we'll think it through first. But we close in on the most incredible double page spread, back-to-back double page spreads. This one is just as incredible as Bonney's one. And Vegapunk says, there is no stopping this now. The fate of this world will be decided by whoever finds it first. Now, just a pause here. The shot during this phrasing, is that Egghead? I think it probably is. But is it foreshadowing a future island, Laugh-Tale? But I do think it's Egghead. But we get to this absolutely beautiful page of all of the key figures involved going forward. It all depends on who finds the One Piece. We've got the 4 emperors leading at the top, key figures who are involved in this final saga. We've got Akainu, we've got Dragon, we've got Eam, we've got Kobe, Kuzan, Figerland we've now met, Sabo is there, and there is one other figure. A new figure shrouded in darkness like Eam, but sheathing a sword that's awfully similar to Figerland's or Shanks' sword. The current conspiracy is, what if Shanks has a brother and he was the one who met the Gorosei all those years ago? To this day, there's the whole debate on, was that Shanks? Was it someone else? We couldn't see the other side of his face where the scars would be. So if this was Shanks' brother, he wouldn't have those scars. We have a mysterious character that Oda is dropping that is going to have some major relevance in what's to come in this final saga. This is going to be... It's like I said at the start, we've got a break next week, upsetting, but I think with what Oda's set up here, this is signifying the end of Egghead and what is the stage to come. I cannot wait to see who comes out on top. Oh man, these are a lot of powerful individuals. Who's going to be an ally? Who's going to make moves when? It's certainly going to be one to keep an eye on, one to watch, one to look forward to. Well, let me know what you thought of this chapter, the setup, what is to come. Who is this mysterious figure hiding in the corner? Let me know. I will see you guys next time. Bye.